And if such objects come and go on random trajectories around us, you can figure out the frequency by which the Rubin Observatory will discover objects like Oumuamua. So that's the basis for this prediction. And of course, the key question is whether these objects are on random orbits or Oumuamua was special and was on a targeted mission. But assuming that they are on random orbits, there should be many of them. In fact, there could be as many as quadrillion such objects within the solar system right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a lot of, if it's technological in origin, a lot of space trash, but it may not be very massive if it's thin, if we're talking about thin membranes. And by the way, 3 years after Oumuamua was discovered, in September 2020, the same telescope in Hawaii discovered another object that was pushed away from the sun, but without any cometary evaporation. It was pushed by reflecting sunlight. And a few weeks after the discovery, the astronomers realized actually this object came from Earth. It's a rocket booster that NASA launched in 1966 in a lunar lander mission. And so we know that it's technological because we produced it, and it had thin walls, and that's why it had a large surface for its mass, so that it can be pushed by reflecting sunlight. And I rest my case. Here is a technological object that appeared to share the same qualitative features of Oumuamua. And for example, Elon Musk launched the Tesla Roadster car as a dummy payload on the Falcon Heavy launch in 2018. And now this car is orbiting the sun in an elliptic orbit. We cannot see it even with our best telescopes because it's too small, it doesn't reflect enough sunlight. But imagine this car crashing into the Earth in 20 million years. It might do so. It would appear as an unusual meteor in the sky, and if astronomers are not waiting for it, they would say it's a rock of a type that we've never seen before. And so my point is that Elon Musk may not be the most accomplished space entrepreneur since the Big Bang. There may have been many others that, imagine their cars floating in interstellar space and crashing into the Earth every now and then.
Do you think, a lot of people think that UAPs may be coming from inside the Earth. Do you think there's any validity to that?
Well, there is an interesting possibility that I wrote about in an essay on medium.com, and that is that 252 million years ago, there was an abrupt global warming event, very similar to the global warming that is happening now. And maybe that was triggered by another technological civilization. That was just 5% of the age of the Earth. Okay, so going back in time, 5% of the history of Earth, 95% of all species went extinct. For those people who say that any global warming catastrophe will bring life to an end and will be unprecedented, just go back in time and read about the history of the Earth. And the question is whether that event, global warming event, was triggered by another technological civilization. Of course, the natural interpretation is to say, well, it was a geological event that created it.